make braised red cabbage. This is a really lovely dish, especially for Christmas, but I like it all time of year. Really good for a roast dinner, really especially good for a roast dinner. But nice for all sorts of grilled meats and fish, even barbecues. I just love it any time of the year, to be honest. And you can make a big amount and you can just heat it up the next day. Just improves with flavour. I'm just going to get rid of the outer leaf because that's not much good. And I'm just going to cut down with a nice sharp knife the root off the bottom. I'm not going to use all of this. I'm only going to use about half of it. Oh, it's got a sticker underneath as well. Get that off. Push down. So when you're chopping, really good to have a sharp knife, but you use a lot of your shoulder strength. So I'm just going to use half a cabbage. I've got 2 halves now. Do I use a bigger half or a smaller half? I use a smaller half. I use a smaller half today. Put that out of the way. So you've got a root in there, so I'm just going to turn it over, bang down. So again, I'm using the front of the knife, banging down with the heel and keeping my hands out of the way by doing like a seesaw motion on top. So just whack it right down. I'm going to take the root out. So chunk a little of the root out there, like a little triangle. Put that out of the way. And then you've got something good to work from, nice flat space. Whenever you're chopping, always keep your fingers out of the way as well. So like curled fingers, so you can use your knife on your knuckles and bang down with the heel. So I'm just going to try and chop down as small as I can. So you can either do this motion if you've got a nice big knife, if not you just chop down like this. So try and keep it as thin as you can. Take your time. And as you can see, I'm going down with my knuckles so my fingers aren't sticking out, so I'm not going to lose hopefully any fingernails. Get to that bit and then I can just whack that through like that. You can see one red cabbage, about 60p, makes a huge amount of braised red cabbage. And I just leave that other bit in the fridge with a bit of cling film around it, and it's just good for salads or red slaw. I love red slaw, red coleslaw. Or winter slaw, even better. You make winter slaw and put fruit through it, like apricots and sultanas and apples and stuff like that. Beautiful. Just going to repeat. Ta-da. All done. So loads of it. And that was a small half. Pretty impressive. On with the saucepan, turn it up. I'm not going to mess around, I'm going to do a really basic recipe of braised red cabbage. It's more the process of cooking it. A lot of people make braised red cabbage and they don't braise it enough. So I'm just going to put it in there, get it cooking. I'm just going to put a little bit of salt in there. If I put salt in it, it has a little bit of a slug effect. I'm not going to kill any slugs, but it's going to draw the water out of the cabbage and make it cook a little bit quicker. So all in there. A little bit more salt on the top. And while I'm at it, in case I forget, I'm going to put pepper in as well. So salt and pepper. Really important to season all your food as well to get the flavour out. Not too much, because salt's not healthy for you, but it just brings all the flavour out of all the food. Lovely. I think the battery's running out on that one. So that's that. We're going to put some vinegar in it. So I've just measured out 3 to 4 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. Ooh. With that, I'm going to put 3 heaped tablespoons of brown sugar. Now I've used light brown sugar. You can use dark brown sugar. You can use demerara sugar. Haven't got that sort of sugar. Any sugar will do. So caster sugar, granulated sugar, it'll all work. It's just this works nice with red vinegar or red wine vinegar because it just marries nicely with the red cabbage. So what we're doing is we're making like a sweet and sour almost. Oh, it's gone quiet. And we're just going to get that cooking. I'm going to keep that on high as well at the moment. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mix some, out of the way, I'm going to mix some apple and some sultanas with it, but I don't want them in there yet. I want the cabbage to braise down loads. I might have to dash a little bit of water in there. Now as I've got that bubbling, I'm just going to turn that down now to about 6, depending on what your gas ring's like, or your induction, or your electric. And I'm just going to bubble that away, so it's nice and bubbly now. Keep that going. So that's going to cook for about 30 to 40 minutes. And that's just going to really reduce down and brown down. If it starts to burn or obviously starts reducing down too much, just a tad of water, that's all you need. And then after about 20 minutes, I'm going to put some sultanas in and some apple. So apple-wise, straight down the middle. I'm going to use the outside bit of the apple as well, the peel. It's all good, it all tastes nice. Get rid of that. And just chop it up, just like it chopped this way. Again, claw hands, back with the heel, slice it down. When it gets to that bit, flick it over in a nice pile so it's ready. The whole apple, might as well. I'm tempted to eat some, but I won't, not at the moment. So, simple as that, that's all it is. So it's just a little bit of chopping, mixing, sugar and vinegar, classic kind of chutney ingredients as well. You can see there's a little bit of water in there, a little bit of liquid. You can see with that salt, it started to do what I call that slug effect. It's trying to draw the water out of the cabbage, which is a good thing because it means there's lots of liquid in there to reduce it right down. So I'm going to keep that going, mix that in 20 minutes, job done. So we're just going to add our apples, our sultanas and a little bit of water. You can see it's dried out a little bit. You just need enough water in there just to keep it going. And it's going to have another sort of 10-15 minutes of cooking maybe. I've given it about sort of between 20 and 30 minutes before you put the apples and the sultanas in. Sultanas and apples, the fruitiness. Just give that a mix round. And that will stew down lovely as well and braise all together. Now at this point, I like to leave the lid off while it's getting to this point, but after this point, after the sultanas and the apples have been added, really good idea to put your lid on, if you can. Bring it back up to the heat as well and just leave that on. It's going to condense down a little bit more then, and it's not going to absorb so much of that water, just a dash more. If you're not quite sure, add a little bit more. You can always boil the water away, it's absolutely fine. Whack it in. Leave it on and leave it for another 10 or 15 minutes. That's it. So we've got our red cabbage now. It's all cooked. So chopped up the cabbage. It was simply just vinegar and sugar. And then we put apple and sultanas in the last 10 or 15 minutes of cooking. So it's cooked for about 30 to 40 minutes. Just make sure you keep topping it up with water, which I've done. And then we're just going to put it in there just to serve. Ah, and this is lovely. And this is the colour that you want, and this is the consistency you want as well. You want all those lovely flavours to accumulate there. You don't want it watery, and you don't want it a light colour, and you want to make sure it's all cooked in the middle, so lovely and soft, and it's absorbed all those lovely flavours. Sometimes I put a little bit of red wine in there as well, just the last 5 minutes of cooking, if you've got any. It is really lovely. Matt wants some. There you go, enjoy.